forces protect the country, secure the country. Now, the responsibility of the army is to protect the geographical boundaries of the country. What is the responsibility of the army? To protect the geographical boundaries of the country. Then the responsibility of the navy is to protect the coastal line of the country. The responsibility of the air force is to protect India's airspace. So these three defense forces are having their own responsibilities, and all these three defense forces are controlled by the Ministry of Defense, which is located at New Delhi. Now, what is called as the chief of the army? The chief of the army is called as the general. Then the chief of the navy is called as the admiral, and the chief of the air force.
Miss, your voice is not clear.
The chief of the air force is called as the chief air marshal. Now, many measures are also taken, but before that, these three forces are appointed by the President of India. Why only the President of India? Because the President of India is the supreme commander of the defense forces. Now, these defense forces means army, the navy, and the air force cannot take any decisions about war or peace without the consent, means the permission of the president who represents the civil war. Why? Because the president has the civil authority, and civil authority is supreme authority. Civil authority is considered as supreme authority in a democracy, and as a result, in a democracy, civil leadership is considered superior to military leadership. Now, there is one question. Why defense forces cannot take any decision without permission? Without permission of the president, because president is having the civil leadership or the civil authority, and civil authority or civil leadership is superior in a democratic form of government. As a result, without consent of the president, these defense forces cannot take any decisions about the war or peace. Now, the defense forces are adequately organized. For this, some research institutions have also been set up in India. Yesterday, I told you that the two main training institutes have also been set up in India. That is National Defense Academy, that is the NDA, which is located in Pune. And second one is National Defense College, that is the NDC, which is located in Delhi. Pune. So here up to this, we have studied the security system. Now we are going to start the next part, that is the paramilitary forces. Now, what are the paramilitary forces that we will see now? See, there are paramilitary forces to help the defense forces in India. They are neither completely military forces nor completely civil forces. All the three forces, that is the army, the navy, the air force, these three are called as purely defense forces. But paramilitary forces, they are neither completely military forces nor completely civil forces. Hence, they are called as the paramilitary forces. But these forces, these paramilitary forces help the defense for defending, for protecting the country. Now, there are total 4 paramilitary forces. First, Border Security Force, that is called as BSF. Second, Coast Guard, that is CG. Third, Central Reserve Police Force, that is CRPF. I have also given the logo of these paramilitary forces. The logo of BSF, that is the Border Security Force, says duty unto death. Then the logo of Coast Guard, it says Vayam Rakshamaha. These are the logos of these paramilitary forces. The 4th paramilitary force is Rapid Action Force. Now, what are the functions of these paramilitary forces? We've seen the functions of the defense forces that is Army, Navy, and Air Force. The function of the Army is to protect the geographical boundaries of the country. The function of the Navy is to protect the coastal line of the country. And the function of the Air Force is to protect the India's airspace that we have seen. Now we are going to see the functions of the paramilitary forces. Functions means the responsibilities, the duties, or the works of the paramilitary forces. The paramilitary forces are responsible for the security of important locations like railway stations, oil depots, and water reserves, etc. What are the functions of the paramilitary forces? To provide security to important locations like the railway stations, oil depots,
Hello.
and water reserves.
Hello.
Now, similarly, they play a very important role in the management of disasters, whether natural or man. Which are the natural disasters? Flood, earthquake, all these are called as the natural disasters. And man-made means riots, bomb blast. These are called as the man-made disasters.
Forest fire.
So these
Forest burning.
paramilitary forces play a very important role in the management of the disasters, whether natural or the man-made. The responsibility of protecting the country's international borders, international means between India and China, between India and Pakistan, India and Nepal, or the international borders. So the protecting the country's international borders during the peacetime also rest with the paramilitary forces. Now,
Ma'am,
we will see the functions
ma'am,
of the, yes,
ma'am means the
hello,
combustion is a man-made disaster.
which one?
Combustion.
Your voice is breaking.
Ma'am, burning.
It is the border
Combustion.
security force. If it is a wildfire, natural.
Acha. Yes.
First one, border security force. The border security force performs the task like creating a sense of security in the minds of people living in areas near the border, like preventing smuggling, patrolling the border. In the next slide, that you can see how these paramilitary forces are patrolling the borders. They are keeping a watch on the border. And on the next image, next photo, that you can see that to prevent the smuggling through the border lines. This can be prevented by the border security force. Now, second one is the Coast Guard. The Coast Guard has been created to protect India's oceanic borders. The Coast Guard carries out like protecting the fishing operation within the Indian maritime borders and preventing smuggling along with the sea routes. What is the function of the border security force? To prevent smuggling through the borders. And what is the function of the Coast Guard? To prevent the smuggling through the sea routes. In the next image, you can see that it's a duty of the Coast Guard to protect the fishermen within the Indian maritime borders and prevent smuggling along the sea routes. So these are the functions of the Coast Guard. Now, the next point that we will see. Next one is the Central Reserve Police Force. It can be called as CRPF. The Central Reserve Police Force helps the administration in various states to maintain law and order, as like police works here. Same work, same functions are performed by the Central Reserve Police Force, that is to maintain law and order in various states. Fourth one is the Rapid Action Force. The Rapid Action Force performs the task of bringing people's lives to normalcy by moving in quickly in incidents of the threat of national security, such as bomb blast or riots. During the time of the bomb blast or riots, this is the duty of the Rapid Action Force to perform the riots and जो दंगे होते हैं वो task of bringing people lives to normalcy by moving in quickly in incidents of the threat to national security, such as the bomb blast.
Miss, your voice is breaking. टीचर आवाज नहीं आ रही है. Hello?
Is the National Cadet Corps. It has been established with the purpose of instilling among students the love of discipline and the military training. Through National Cadet Corps, the love of discipline and military training can be given to students. Any boy or girl from schools and colleges can join the NCC. They can join the NCC. Now, the next one is the Home Guard that we are very familiar with. That they're having the uniform as like a police, but they're having a badge on their uniform that is the Home Guard. Now, Home Guard, this organization was established in the pre-independence period. Citizens can join the Home Guard and assist in the defense of the country. The citizens or man or woman, any citizen, man or woman between the ages of 20 to 35 years can join the Home Guard. Okay, so this is the age limit for joining the Home Guard, that is from 20 to 35. Between the ages of 20 to 35, any citizen, man or woman, can join the Home Guards. Now, these forces has the following tasks, as like we have seen the functions of Border Security Force, Rapid Action Force, Central Reserve Police Force, and the Coast Guard. Similarly, the Home Guards are also having their own functions. Home Guards are also having their own responsibilities. Now we will see one by one which responsibilities they have. First one, maintaining public security. Second, supply of milk. Third,
सब पकड़ते हैं
and
वो
other
दिखने को सीधा दिखता है नहीं
services during the riots or strikes. Fourth one, to regulate the traffic. And fifth one, to help people at the time of natural disasters like floods, earthquakes, etc. In the next slide that you can see, the first function of the Home Guard is the public security. Second, that is to supply of milk. Third, that is the supply of water. Fourth, to regulate traffic. Fifth, to help the people at the time of natural disasters like the floods. And sixth one, that is the earthquakes. Now we
This
will
is the basics of Home Guard.
these are the functions of the Home Guard. These are the responsibilities of the Home Guard. That to
okay,
protect public security, supply of milk, supply of water, then regulate the traffic. Now we will see the next point, that is the challenges to India's security. Now India is also facing some challenges. Which challenges that India is facing that we will see now? First one, right from the time of independence, Pakistan and China have tried to threaten India's national security. As we know that India and Pakistan, the first war took place between India and Pakistan in the year 1947, and India was divided into two dominant states, that is India and Pakistan. Pakistan was not an original country, but it was created during the time of the India's independence, and that was the first war between India and Pakistan. Then the second war took place between India and Pakistan, that is in the year 1965 over the Kashmir issue. And at that time, the Soviet Union tried to mediate between the two countries. And the third war took place between the India and Pakistan, that is in the year 1971. And that led to the creation of an independent country called as the Bangladesh. In the year 1971, the war took place between India and Pakistan was divided into two dominant states. One was Pakistan and second one was Bangladesh. So right from the time of independence, Pakistan and China have tried to threaten India's national security. Now, in the year 1962 also, the war took place between India and China on the in the region of the McMahon Line that you have studied in the second chapter of history. So there are several disputes between India and Pakistan. Okay, there are several disputes between India and Pakistan. For example, the Kashmir issue, that is always called as the burning issue between India and Pakistan, disputes over the river water sharing, then the problem of infiltrations, disputes over the border, disputes over the border. India has continually tried to solve these issues through the discussions and the negotiations because India has accepted the non-alignment policy. And non-alignment policy is based on the principles of peace and freedom. And obviously, war is not the only solution as India thinks. And as a result, continuously, whenever there are disputes, India tries to solve these disputes through the discussions and the negotiations. Now, India and China are also important countries in Asia. In the year 1962, we have had to go to war with China. That I already told you that in the year 1962, there was a war between India and China in the region of the McMahon Line. Now, as China is trying to establish its own hegemony over the countries. Now, hegemony means dominance. Hegemony means dominance of the one social group over the others. So, as China is trying to establish its own hegemony or the dominance over countries that are India's neighbors, there are tensions in a Sino-Indian relation, and there is also a dispute between India and China over their borders. As like there are disputes between India and Pakistan over the Kashmir issue, same there are disputes between India and China over their borders. Now, India's security is not only threatened by outside powers like the neighboring countries like Pakistan and China, but also from within. Some internal powers or internal problems are also there that can provide a threat to India's security. It is not just the difference between external security and internal security that is important anymore. For example, see, religion, that India is called as a multi-religious country, Hindu, Islam, then Christian, Jain, Buddhist, all the religions are staying together. So India is called as a multi-religious country. Then regionalism, we are having a various regions, several rebellious movements based on the ideology, race, ethnicity, and economic inequality. Means economic inequality means poor is becoming more and more poor, and rich is becoming more and more richer. So there is a gap between the rich and poor. So this is called as economic inequality. And these problems are creating instability in India. Which problems are creating instability in India? The religion, regionalism, several rebellious movements based on ideology, race, ethnicity, and economic inequality are creating instability. Now, for example, the Naxalite movement, as like a terrorism that we know, that is the external attack, but Naxalism is the internal attack.
Teacher,
So, yes,
teacher, what is meant by ideology?
each and every religion is having their own ideology, and they think that their religion is superior than the others. Same. Now
Okay,
the
thank
next point is Naxalism. For example, the Naxalite movement is a threat to India's internal security. As we know that terrorism is the biggest challenge in front of India, but it is an external threat. But India is having internal threat also. An internal threat is called as a Naxalism. So Naxalite movement is a threat to India's internal security. Now we will see the terrorism. Terrorism means to spread the terror. Terrorism is the biggest challenge to India's internal security. It is a global problem, and India is making efforts to end the terrorism. Always India is trying to make the efforts to stop the terrorism from India. Now, the next point that we will see, that is the human security. We have seen the national security. National security is nothing but the security of the people, those who are living in that country. Now, the next point that we are going to see now, that is the human security. What is the human security? See, in the post-Cold War period, as we know that in the year 1945, Second World War was ended. And after the end of Second World War, the Cold War started. Cold War was started in the year 1945 till 1991, and Cold War was not actually fought on the land as like a First World War and the Second World War, but it was the warlike situation, like tense-like situation was there. So in the post-Cold War period, post-Cold War means after Cold War period, the concept of national security changed and became broader. After the Cold War, post-Cold War means after the Cold War, the concept of national security changed and became broader. Now, national security is not just the security of the country, but also of the people living in it. As I told you earlier, national security means what? National security is nothing but the security of the country, but also the people living in it. Because security is ultimately for the people. National security means country's security, nation security. Now, the people, those who are living in it, their security means the national security. Hence, human security refers to human-centric thinking. In a human security, it is expected that human beings should be protected. The national security, nation should be protected. In a national security, nation should be protected, and in a human security, humans should be protected from all the sorts of danger. Now, they should be give the opportunities of education, health, and development. Each and every human being should give the opportunity of education, health, and development. Now, the concept of human security, all of you please switch off your mic. All of you switch off your mic. The concept of human security also includes the idea that a conducive environment should be created.
सब लोग का आवाज म्यूजिक बंद करने बोलो ना।
हेलो मैम, आवाज नहीं आ रहा है।
हेलो हेलो भी हेलो हेलो मैम हेलो 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 मैम, आपकी आवाज नहीं आ रही है। हेलो मैम हेलो
Okay. आवाज आ रहा है अभी? Hello.
Yes, ma'am.
Now,
Yes,
human
ma'am.
security necessitates
Yes, Miss
the
Ali.
protection of the rights of the minorities and the weaker sections. Now, we will see the human security, how national security is the security of the country, as well as the people living within the country. A conducive environment should be created for everyone to live a respectable life by overcoming illiteracy, poverty, superstition, and backwardness. Illiteracy means the person who cannot read and write. That is called as the illiterate. So illiteracy, poverty, superstition, and the backwardness. Backwardness means lack of normal development of intellectual capabilities or the capacities. Human security necessitates the protection of the rights of the minorities and the weaker sections. Now we will see the challenges human security. The biggest challenge to human security is that of terrorism. Terrorism targets common and innocent people, that we have seen the attack of terrorist people. Okay, so terrorism targets common and innocent people. It aims at creating terror or fear in their minds so that they begin to feel insecure. Thus, in order to protect human security, it is necessary to put an end to terrorism. It is very necessary, it is very important to end terrorism if we want to protect the human security. Now, second one is that is the pollution. Pollution and other changes in the environment have also threatened the human life. Okay, pollution and other changes in the environment have also threatened the human life. Similarly, diseases like AIDS, chikungunya, swine flu, Ebola, Ebola means what? Ebola, that is a severe and fatal disease in human or the non-human
मैम आवाज नहीं आ
caused by the Ebola virus.
मैम सब लोग
Characterized by
म्यूट
high
बंद करने बोलो ना
I have muted to you
आवाज
all.
नहीं आ रही आपकी
Please you switch off your mic. All of you switch off your mic. Switch off your mic, all of you. Okay, now the Ebola. Ebola is a severe fatal disease in a human and the non-human caused by the Ebola virus, characterized by
आवाज
high
नहीं आ रही
fever,
आपकी
severe internal bleeding, can be spread from person to person. In this chapter, we have studied India's defense system.
आज तूने जो भी नहीं पढ़ा ना और मैं नहीं सुन पाई ना तेरे मुंह से तो मैं तुझे बताऊंगी मोबाइल लेके ऑनलाइन बैठने से पता नहीं होगा
पीछे सब लोग को म्यूट बंद करने बोलो
All of you switch off your mic.
Yes, please, miss.
Please switch off your mic.
मेरा मन करता है इसको मैं 100 साल पढ़ाई छोड़ा के इस पे
म्यूट बंद करने बोलो सब लोग को टीचर सुने कुछ भी नहीं दे रहा है
Now my voice is coming.
सब
In this chapter, we have studied India's defense. We have also tried to understand the change in the concept of security from the national security to human security. Now, here we have finished this chapter. We have completed the chapter. Now, the second part, that is the evaluation. Question number 1, that is the choose the right option and rewrite the sentence. First question, the dash has been established with the purpose of instilling among the students the love of discipline and provide military training. Options are A, Border Security Force, that is the BSF, B, Central Reserve Police Force, CRPF, C, National Cadet Corps, NCC, D, Rapid Action Force, RAF. The answer will be C, NCC, National Cadet Corps. Second, the dash has the responsibility of protecting the coastal line. A, Army, B, Coast Guard, C, Border Security Force, D, Rapid Action Force. Coastal line, then answer will be B, Coast Guard.
Yes, yes.
Then C.
यस मैम
Third question, the dash helps the administration in the various states to maintain law and order. First, BSF, B, Coast Guard, C, Home Guard, and D, CRPF. Fifth answer will be CRPF.
Yes.
CRPF, Central Reserve Police Force.
Yes.
Fourth one, dash is the biggest challenge to human security. A,
Terrorism.
Yes.
Terrorism.
B, C, casteism, and D, hunger.
Miss
First
was
one, that is the terrorism. Okay. Now we will see challenges in front of India's security system. First one, which are the challenges in front of India's security system? Now, this is the geographical description. First one, Pakistan. Second, terrorism. Third, China. And fourth, that is the religious movement. So these are the 4 challenges in front of India's security system. Pakistan, China, terrorism, and religious movement. Second question, disputes between India and Pakistan. First one, answer will be first one, sharing of river water. Second, infiltration. Third, Kashmir issue. And fourth one, boundary issue. All of you, please switch off your mic. Switch off your mic. Now, question number 3. Answer the following questions in a brief. First question, what are the threats to national security?
टीचर सब लोग को म्यूट बंद करने बोलो ना
Please, all of you, switch off your mic.
Okay.
switch off your mic. What are the threats to national security? First question, answer will be China and Pakistan are the biggest threat to India's security. Terrorism is the biggest internal threat to India's internal security. Third one, religion, regionalism, several rebellious movements, ideology, race, ethnicity, and economic inequality are creating instability and are also threats to India's internal security. Similarly, the Naxalite movement is also a threat to India's internal security. This will be the answer of the first question. Second question, write the functions of the border security force. Answer will be, first point, they are creating a sense of security in the minds of people living in areas near the border. Second, they are preventing smuggling. Third, they are patrolling the border. Now, question number 4. Write the short notes. First one, the functions of the Rapid Action Force. First one is the function of the Rapid Action Force. Answer will be, first point, the Rapid Action Force is a
टीचर सब लोगों को वॉइस रिकॉर्डिंग बंद करने बोला, हम लोगों को सुनाई नहीं दे रहा, मेरे को तो कुछ भी नहीं सुनाई दे रहा है.
Please all of you switch off your mouth. Almas ma'am. Hello, Almas ma'am.
It is not there.
Please switch off your mic. First one, the Rapid Action Force is a paramilitary force. Second, it performs the task of bringing people lives to normalcy by moving in quickly in incidents of threat to national security such as a bomb blast or riots. Now, second question, human security. What?
नहीं मतलब उतना भी लिख देंगे रैपिड एक्शन के बारे में तो चलेगा ना.
But you should know the proper answer, no? You cannot write anything as you want.
प्लीज वॉइस रिकॉर्डिंग बंद कर दो ना प्लीज.
क्यों
क्यों कर रहा है?
क्यों भी मत पूछो, हम लोग को भी पढ़ने का है, सब लोग पढ़ने के लिए तो वॉइस रिकॉर्डिंग में.
Hello? Okay. Now I will discuss the questions with you. Human security, that is a short note for you. Answer will be, the term national security has become broader in the post-Cold War period and also includes the security of the people living within the country. Human security refers to human-centric thinking, and it is expected that human beings should be protected from dangers and should be given the opportunities of education, health, and development. Third point, it also includes the idea that a conducive environment should be created for everybody to live a respectable life by overcoming literacy, illiteracy, poverty, superstition, and backwardness. Now, the next question, that is the Home Guard. Answer will be, the organization of Home Guards was established in the pre-independence period to enable the citizens to assist the defense forces. Any citizen in the age group of 20 to 35 years can join the Home Guards. Third, the Home Guards maintain public security. Fourth point, they supply milk, water, and other essential services during the times of riots or strikes. And they regulate traffic and help people in the times of natural disasters. Now the next point, that is the next question, that is the Coast Guard. What are the functions of the Coast Guard? Answer will be, the Coast Guard is a paramilitary force. It has been created to protect India's oceanic borders. The Coast Guard carries out tasks like protecting the fishing occupation within Indian maritime borders, and preventing smuggling along the sea routes, etc. Now the next point, that is the National Cadet Corps. National Cadet Corps, that is the NCC, has been established with the purpose of instilling the love of discipline among the students. It provides military training to them. Boy and girl students from schools and colleges can join the NCC. Now the next question is the challenges to India's security. Right from the time of independence, Pakistan and China, right from the time of independence, Pakistan and China have tried to threaten India's national security. India has gone to a war with Pakistan in the year 1947, then in the year 1965, and then in the year 1971, and in last, that is the 1998. Kashmir issue, dispute over the river water sharing, etc. There is a dispute between India and China over their borders. India had to go to a war with China in the year 1962. And India's security is also threatened by various movements based on religion, regionalism, caste, and ethnicity. Terrorism is the biggest challenge to internal security of India. Now, the next question, that is the challenges to human security. Terrorism is the biggest challenge to human security. The common innocent people are the targets of the terrorist activities. Terrorism creates fear in the minds of people and make them feel insecure. Pollution and other harmful changes in the environment have threatened human life. Diseases like AIDS, chikungunya, swine flu, Ebola have presented a big challenge. So here we have discussed some questions related to this part. If anybody is having a doubt, you can ask. If anybody is having a doubt, you can ask.
No, miss.
No, ma'am.